this is Marnie Swedberg. I'm excited to welcome you to the Best You 2022 Spring Summit. And just now, I'm excited to introduce you to your session leader, Rebecca Ann Perkins. Rebecca Ann is a speaker, podcaster, and coach with over 2,000 hours experience working one-on-one with women. You'll be transformed with actionable principles and biblical truth that works whenever you work with Rebecca Ann. At this time, we're going to share a program called Brand Basics for Beautiful Websites. Do you love your website, or maybe not? Maybe you hate marketing or how it makes you feel. The key to profitability is branding. Join us right now for quick guidance on branding, plus the 5 things you need to fall in love with your website. You'll tap into your calling and clarify your message with prayer, translate your calling into a clear brand, and learn how to let your website do the selling simply, beautifully, and professionally. At this time, it's my great joy to introduce you to Rebecca Ann Perkins.
Hello, everybody. Okay, first of all, I want to ask you guys, whether you're watching live or you're watching this maybe later, to let us know in the comments where you're from, okay? And specifically because of what I'm going to be talking about today, what website platform you use, all right? So in the comments, go ahead and let us know what your name is, where you're from. It could be like Sue from Texas, and I use Squarespace, or Jan from California, I use WordPress. So if you're here, if you're watching, let us know who you are, where you're from, and what website platform you use. My name is Rebecca. I'm so excited to be able to share with you guys kind of how I've built my website. And I want to start with this. I am not a branding professional, okay? I'm a Christian speaker and a podcaster and a life coach. And when I started doing this full time about 5 years ago, I discovered, probably like many of you, that, oh my gosh, I have to be my own marketing person. Like, this is a real thing, that I have to create my own brand, that I have to learn how to use the tools to build a website. I mean, unless you have a bunch of money and you can hire somebody to build a website for you, or hire somebody to do branding for you, most of us who are just called to speak, who are called to teach, find ourselves in this position where we're having to be our own marketing person and our own branding person, and build our business on our own, which was not really part of our plan, right? We're like, the Lord has called me to a mission or a message, and yet I feel like I'm wasting a ton of time trying to build a business. Let me know if that's how you feel. The whole time I'm talking here, by the way, for the next 30 minutes, just give me like, yes, that's so good, or a question that you have, some pushback that you have, because at the 30-minute mark, we're going to do a Q&A, and I really want to make that Q&A as valuable for you guys as possible. Okay. So just light up the comments with anything that you want to as we go here. But just know that I get it. I get why a lot of you guys are probably frustrated. You've probably done what a lot of people have, which is listen to podcasts from branding people. You've probably looked on Pinterest. You've probably contemplated changing your website platform. You've probably looked into hiring someone to create your website for you. You've probably heard and taken mini classes or downloaded guides, right? This is true about how to create a brand. And there's 1,000 opinions out there. That's the problem. The problem is, one day we'll be reading something that says, make your brand about you. Make it a personal brand, your name. Okay. My name is Rebecca Ann. I just recently got married. So in a few places you'll see Gregory, but now it's Perkins, but I went with Rebecca Ann. Or you could maybe have a ministry name. People go back and forth about that. People go back and forth about what their tagline should be, what their mission statement should be. People go back and forth about things like their colors. You know, we get access to like this thing about the meaning of colors, or the color wheel. And we're like, oh my gosh, maybe I should rebrand my colors. Or, and this is what most of us do, we stumble upon another person's website, or we go look up our favorite influencer or speaker, and we see what hers looks like. And we change what we've been doing, or we try to recreate what she's doing. Am I right? Can I get an amen? And what's happening is most of us are wasting time. We're distracted by branding. We're discouraged by it. We're confused. Okay. And we're spending way too much time on our branding and on our website, and not enough time doing what we love, not enough time speaking or teaching, not enough time. By the way, listen, if you hear anything I say, hear this: not enough time doing the thing that actually grows our business, our influence, our network, which is meeting people, speaking, okay, producing good content. That's the stuff we need to actually be doing to grow our ministry. And instead, we've been convinced that what we need is the perfect website. So here's what I'm going to do with you guys today, really. What I want to do is simplify what your website needs to have on it and what a brand needs to include, so that you can get your website and your branding out of the way and focus on what you've been called to do. Okay. Your marketing needs to be simple, clear, professional looking, done, so that you can move on, right? So that you can go do the stuff that you need to do, we're called to do, the stuff that really feeds your soul and your spirit. Very simply, guys, very simply. And I'm going to throw a few banners up here to help us. Okay. So not that one yet. Okay. So first of all, like I said, a lot of us have a ton of messages and other influences in our head. And I really, 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 really want to encourage you guys almost to repent of that. I know that's a strong word, but take some time in prayer and settle in with the Lord and kind of confess or admit to yourself or the Lord if you have been trying to get a mission statement for your calling from somewhere other than Him. Okay. You do need clarity on your website. You do need a for sure conviction about who you are and what you do, but you're not going to get that from somebody's freebie or downloadable. I mean, those brand formulas can help us, but have you prayed about it? Go back to that moment that God called you to do what you do. Get on your knees and pray and tell the Lord, I need you to reveal to me who I am out here in this world, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And then when God speaks to you, when God gives you that message of your heart, don't change it. Don't go back and forth. Okay. Don't doubt it. Don't rewrite it. Stick with it and move on. There really is no right way to do a lot of this stuff. Just so you know, the people who are being successful at what they're doing are out there doing the thing. Okay. They're out there doing it. And so again, I'm going to tell you the very specific things you need to have a clear brand and a website that works for you, so that you can go do the thing, provide the service, network, produce your content, meaning a podcast or something like that. And stop thinking that the reason you're not getting any, if you're not getting enough speaking engagements or you're not getting enough traction or whatever, you try to redo your whole website. No. Whatever God tells you is your calling, your mission, your reason for doing what you're doing. That's your brand. Okay. Let me say this to you a little bit more simply. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it? Who are you? What do you do? And why you do it? At this moment, I'd like to share with you guys real quick my screen and my website. So this is my website. Who am I? This is my logo because I just go by Rebecca Ann Perkins. That's literally my email address. My website address. And so people know who I am. What do I do? strengthening women in truth. Now, it doesn't take long to scroll and have me say it a little bit more clearly. Who am I? I'm Rebecca. What do I do? I'm a Christian speaker, podcaster, and life coach. Why do I do it? Because I know only God's truth delivers, right? And I go on here a little bit to say that I think self-help is ultimately empty. And so I like to encourage, I believe the truth is the only thing that strengthens women. That's the message God gave me. And it needs to be that clear. Okay. Now the reason, let me jump back here. The reason Sorry. Okay. I'm back. Okay. The reason, again, that a lot of you are struggling is because you don't have clear answers to these questions. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it? And again, part of the reason you don't have clear answers to these questions is because you keep looking to other people to define it for you instead of the Lord. So, first and foremost, if you want a beautiful website and branding, are you turning to the Lord, or are you trying to get some other woman to define it for you? You have to sit with God and you have to seek Him, and you have to define for yourself who you are, what do you do, and why do you do it? You have to get these answers yourself. Okay. And then I would encourage you not to change it for at least 6 months at a time, maybe a year. But I know that we get easily inspired and we're like, oh, I like this word better and I like that word better, and I want to recreate my tagline or my branding or whatever. No. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? This is between you and the Lord. No other person or woman or whoever is going to give you this information. And then stick with it. Resist every urge in your body to change it. Okay. You have more important work to be doing. Now, let's move on to let your website sell for you. Okay. Because really what I just said is all you need for a clear brand. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? But people are going to click on your website. What do they see when they get there? Again, how do we just keep it kind of so basic and so professional that it gets out of the way, right? So that people can hear you, so that people can click on your podcast, or that people can book you to speak. Like, all the website really needs to do is be clear and professional and easy to navigate. That's it. There's no right. If you're convinced that the website has to, look like Jenny Allen's website in order for you to get a speaking engagement, you're wrong. Okay. You're believing a lie really there. Like, if you want your website to sell for you, all you need is simple and consistent color palette and fonts. Okay. You do need to pick a color palette. You do need to pick fonts. Keep it to a minimum, maybe like 2 or 3, 2 or 3 colors, or just one, black and white with an accent color. 2 to 3 fonts, make them clear and easy to read. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. There's no special magical font that's going to all of a sudden make your ministry blow up. Okay. It's more about, is it clear? Is it professional? Is it simple? Do people know who you are, what you do, why you do it? Do people know how they can get a hold of you? Okay. That's the next point in let your website sell for you, is that there needs to be a very clear call to action. I'm going to jump back over here to my website really quick. So my call to action used to be book your call. Book your call. And then when you click on that, I'll show you guys what happens really quick. When you click on book your call, it goes to my Calendly. I have a Calendly account. That's this right here, in case you guys have never heard of it, calendly.com. It's, I think, $14 or $15 a month, and it's hands down the best investment in my business ever. So I have a coaching business. So I have a coaching consultation, and then I also have a speaking inquiry. But let's go back here to the point that does your website have a very clear way that people can get a hold of you? Now, I also have a login because I sell some courses, and some of my coaching things happen through the website. And so people who've bought digital products from me need to be able to log in. And so that's the call to action at the moment. But this has been one or the other: book your call or log in. But you must have a clear call to action on your website. You must. Okay. All right. The next thing that you need, and that a lot of people don't think they need or try to resist is professional pictures. So money is an issue. I get that, especially when we're starting out. But do whatever you have to. Okay, find a local college student or even a high school student who's great at what they do and has a professional camera. Offer to pay them something. It's very important that when people get to your website, it doesn't look like it was just thrown together by somebody who's maybe not even there anymore or not manning it anymore. You will fall in love with your website when you like your pictures. Okay, you'll fall in love with your website when you can get a picture and leave it up there that is clear. Okay, we need high resolution photos and things like that. This is kind of, I would say, top priority, believe it or not. And not only your professional pictures, do those need to be clear, but again, let's jump back here really quick. The other pictures that you use on the website. Okay, so these are my testimonials, and I made sure that the people who gave me testimonials sent me clear images of them. But even pictures like this, right? This is my section where I have some freebies, but even these right here, all the pictures you use need to look very clear and professional. And I'll show you guys really quick how I do that. I have used for years this website. It's called unsplash.com, and it's free. It's just free high resolution photos. You don't have to pay for them. There's some you can pay for, but I always choose the ones you don't have to pay for. Okay. And you can literally search anything here. Like, probably not going to use this one on the website. But okay, so pictures like this are high resolution pictures that you're allowed to use for free on your website. Okay. This is going to make your website look beautiful. These types of pictures, unsplash.com, plus a clear way that people can get a hold of you. Some people use Acuity. Okay. Now, while we're here, let me just go back to this really quick. Let me just kind of reiterate something real quick for you guys. Your clear brand. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Now, I'm going to come back to that really quick and explain a few more things to you guys about that. But when it comes time to let your website sell for you, you need simple and consistent color palette and fonts. Don't overdo it. You need a clear call to action. How can people get a hold of you? How do people book you? Do you want people to make a phone call with you? Some people make their call to action joining their email list or like downloading their freebie. I don't think that's a very effective call to action for people who do what we do. If your only goal is to like sell an online course or something like that, that's a decent call to action because you're trying to build your email list. We're not trying to build our email list first and foremost. And in fact, speakers have the best way in the world to build their email list, which is simply that at a live speaking event, you put out a board that says join my email list, and you usually get like 20 to 30 people to sign up, which, by the way, to get 20 to 30 subscribers organically through an opt-in takes forever. Okay. So yes, I have opt-ins on my website, and you guys can see that. And I know you all kind of know about that, right? Like you have some freebies, and I do have a few freebies. Now, remember, I've been at this for 4 or 5 years, so don't be overwhelmed by the fact, oh, I have to have opt-ins too, Rebecca. I have to have testimonies too. Your website has all that stuff. And I do have a store. I do sell courses. So in here, I sell some courses. This is my life coaching page. This is my speaking page. Click on that really quick. But anyway, back to the point. Don't get overwhelmed by what you're seeing on my website. I've just told you guys what the most basic things you need are. And it's okay to start there. Okay. It's okay to start with the absolute most basic things. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Simple and consistent color palette and font. A clear call to action. Again, I don't recommend that your call to action on the right hand, the top right hand corner of your website. That's like the gold area that everybody's going to look at if they're at all interested in you. It could be contact me, schedule a phone call. book Rebecca to speak. But like I said, I don't recommend it actually to be an opt-in because that's not a quick enough way for people to get from internet world to talking to you. You want people to talk to you, I assume. Or maybe you want them to listen to your podcast because if they like your podcast, they'll book you to speak. Okay. And then professional pictures. Okay. So pictures of you and high resolution photos for your website. Now, let me just pause really quick and say this. I get the overwhelm of, but I want to build a membership program, but I want to build courses. I want to build passive income or something along those lines. Like there's 1,000 things that can feel really overwhelming to us. But I have to ask you, do you have the basics first? Do you have a website in which people know who you are, what you do, and how they can get a hold of you? Right? Like who you are, what you do, people can get a hold of you. That's it. Have you fallen in love with that? Have you fallen in love with, yes, I like my logo. Okay. I like my pictures. I clearly have sought the Lord about who I am and what I do. And people know how to get a hold of me. I'm going to flip back here to my. Okay. Who you are, what you do, how people can get a hold of you. And then you build. Okay. You leave that. You leave the pictures. You leave the website alone. And then you go do what actually builds your brand, which is speak or podcast or produce good content. You make connections. You meet people, right? You go speak at MOPS events. You go to networking events. All those things I just described is what builds your reach. It's what builds your ministry. It's what builds your influence. The perfect website doesn't do that. If you're not meeting people, if nobody's coming to your website, you know what I mean? Then your website's useless. You can have the most beautiful website in the whole world, but it'll be useless if you're not out there doing the darn thing. So don't hide behind, I have to have the most perfect website in the world. It's my website. That's the reason I'm not getting any bookings. No. Get clear. Again, I know you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me say this now, but get clear about who you are. What do you do? Why do you do it? Make sure you have simple and consistent color palettes and fonts. A clear call to action. Okay. Professional pictures. And then when the time is appropriate, guys, I would say, okay, if you already have all those things, I would say the next thing that you go for are testimonials. I have acquired testimonials over time, and they really do take your website to the next level. So I have some under my life coaching page as well here. And so, yeah. In case you guys are wondering, as you're watching, I use Kajabi, which is not cheap. It's like $199 a month, but I used to use Squarespace. I built my whole business for the last 4 years on Squarespace, but it didn't have the functionality of selling courses and workshops like I wanted. And so I switched over. But Squarespace is cheap. It's $30 some odd a month. It will host your domain name as well. And they have amazing templates. Like, even if you're not an artsy person, even if you don't know how to design a good looking website, like, you literally cannot go wrong in this day and age, especially if you use Squarespace. I'm sure there's others out there. I know some people who use WordPress. I know there's others out there, but almost like use a template, plug in your information, and your website will be beautiful. They make it pretty easy. So yeah, after you've done the basics, testimonials would be your next important thing. Okay, these are some of my testimonials. And after that, I would say it's videos. So let me jump back up here to my speaking page. I do have videos of me speaking. So you can't see the thumbnail, which is unfortunate, but if I push play, the video will start. I'm not going to do that here because I think it would get confusing, but some speaking samples of you, pretty important. And then, like I kind of mentioned before, opt-ins. So a very quality opt-in to just give away, really helpful, useful things to the people who are new to you. I have a guide to taking thoughts captive. I have how to build a highly effective schedule and starting with intuitive prayer, which is kind of a concept that I have come up with to help women pray more consistently. So these things right here are the ways that I get people to join my email list. But again, these are slow and they don't actually, people do opt in, but I massively build my email list by just bringing a clipboard to speaking engagements, big or small. Okay. Tiny. Someone asked me to do a 20-person workshop, or I'm speaking at an event that's 2,000 people and I have a big table in the back or whatever. That's the way that I build my email list. Okay. Just so you guys know, I have the opt-ins on here mainly because it is my heart's desire to give this information to women. Like, I really do want women to know how to take their thoughts captive. I really do like helping people figure out how to optimize their schedule. I really do believe that if we're praying every day and consistently and getting into that habit and figuring out how to make that part of our life, that's like the best thing that we can do for all things, for our life, for our faith, for our ministry, for our business, everything. So anyway, I'm going to start to wrap this up with, let me see here, a couple quick thoughts. Okay, so I think my whole heart behind this, as I was kind of praying about it and preparing, again, I'm not a branding person. I don't pretend to have any like professional experience in this area. However, I want you guys to feel kind of inspired to set it and forget it. Okay. Get clear on your message. Make sure it's a website that's like pretty-ish, meaning professional looking, good pictures, not too much craziness, clear. Okay. Simple. Who are you? What do you do? How do people get a hold of you? Kind of thing. And don't be super distracted by all the information out there. Don't be super distracted by the belief or the thought that your website is the reason you're not getting traction. Don't hide behind, oh, my branding's not perfect. Don't hide behind hours and hours, days and days, months and months of trying to perfect everything. Do exactly what I've suggested and then go do what God has called you to do. Tell people where to find you online. They will find you. And over time, okay, maybe every 2 to 3 months, add some testimonials. Okay. And then 2 or 3 months later, be like, okay, it's time for me to have a scheduling system on my website. Or, okay, in the next 2 to 3 months, I would like to add some opt-ins. But part of how you clarify your website and your message is just by actually doing the thing. Again, like, don't hide behind this. Go speak, go podcast, go coach, go do the thing. And you will build your audience and you'll clarify kind of your message and your brand in your head. Get your website done simply and clearly enough so that you can like move on with your ministry and then build it as you go. What questions do you guys have? I know there's some people watching right now, but I also know that this will be out there forever. And there'll be a lot of people watching this in the future who will have questions at that time. And so I'm actually going to answer a few questions that I know people are going to ask in case you're watching this in a week or two and you're like, I have a question, but I'm not watching it live. Okay, I'm going to try to predict your question. All right. So let's move on to Q&A. I think you guys are going to ask a question about passive income because that's just such a huge thing in what we do right now. I want to create passive income. I want to create a course, or I want to create a some kind of downloadable book or something like that. I have a lot of people who have gone, like a long way down that road. And my best advice for you is to pick one of those things. Okay. Again, I think distraction really dilutes our ministry, and there's no right or wrong way. Let me remove this banner that's probably very distracting to you guys. Okay. I mean, pick one. That's really the answer. I mean, if you really, really have a message, a something, right? A short course you want to sell, or a book, an ebook that you want to sell, or a membership group, or you want to start doing a podcast that people have to pay for, that's great. Pick one. The problem is that we listen to too many podcasts. We look at too many other people's websites and we say, well, she's doing that, or I have to do all of these things. The same thing happens on social media. Oh my gosh, I have to maintain a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and now maybe a TikTok, if like, depending on who your audience is. And I have to send out weekly emails. No, pick one. Okay. Pick one. If you want to create passive income, that's great. Pick one. Your business and your ministry will be effective and successful because of the quality of your content. Period. Not because of which freebie you use, or which color palette you have, or even necessarily which social media platform you choose to put most of your time and energy into, which, by the way, I use Instagram. I don't like Facebook. It's way too overwhelming to me. I have a Facebook page, but mainly what I do is on Instagram. I picked one. I'm like, Instagram, not on Twitter, not on LinkedIn. I can't handle that much. No, you know what I mean? But I make sure that what I put on Instagram is quality content, right? I'm only doing Instagram, so it's quality content. I'm only on my website creating workshops to sell. I'm not trying to also do a bunch of other things. I'm not really trying to monetize. I do a podcast, but I'm not trying to monetize a podcast. I'm not trying to, I did have a membership group, but I found that didn't really get the traction that I wanted. And again, it was too many things. I was trying to do too many things. I really feel like Satan thrives on trying to distract us and discourage us. So distraction is do all the things. No, pick one. Discouragement is look at all the ways the other women are selling. Don't focus on that. Know who you are. Know what your message is. Produce really quality, valuable content. Okay? Make your message inspiring. Make it true. Spend time on it. Put something out there that is valuable. Those people will stick with you. Those people will eventually book you to speak. Those people, you know what I'm saying? Couple things here in the Q&A that I'll address really quick. Marnie said testimonials are very important as soon as you can do it. Okay, add those as soon as you can. She definitely knows what she's talking about in that regard. So get testimonials whenever you can. Be bold about asking for these, by the way. I mean, every time I've spoken at a women's event, I follow up with an email and then I just ask, I just say, can you write me a 3 to 4 sentence testimonial to help other event planners know a little bit about me or who I am? I'm pretty bold about asking for those. Marnie also says social definitely needs to be a decision versus just getting on to do it. Yes. She also said, fascinating thought. We'll fall in love with our website when we post photos that we love. This is so true. Maybe obvious, but odd how it can slide our conscious awareness. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure, again, going back to the conversation about do you have professional pictures of you, and do you have professional pictures, high resolution quality pictures all throughout your website? You'll be proud to show it to people when you get to that point. And by the way, like I said earlier, really don't just Google brand photographer or professional headshots in my area and get one quote for $1,000. No. I think mine was 300, but I know people who do it for less than that even. You can, like I said, find somebody who's kind of an up and comer photographer and get it for less than that. And yeah, make sure that you have headshots and photos that you love. Do whatever it takes to get those and to get them in a price range that works for you. Okay. Professional photos and testimonials. Okay. Professional photos and testimonials. That's the advice I'm picking up on here from just my own experience and from Marnie, who's sharing with us here. Okay. Other questions, so I kind of answered what I know you guys would ask about passive income. Pick one. Make it quality. Don't obsess over. Stop listening to the podcasts, really, is my advice for you guys. Stop listening to all the podcasts that say, this is how you can make a whole bunch of money if you're a woman influencer or a content creator. Like daily, and this is just me being a little preachy here right now, if you're called to speak or teach or lead, God needs to be leading you. I know that sounds cliche, but we get overwhelmed and discouraged and upset and distracted and empty when we're letting other women or other teachers or podcasters or whatever lead us. Yes, we need their wisdom. Yes, we can look on Pinterest for inspiration, but literally, are you starting every day on your knees? Are you giving your creativity, your mind, your energy, your heart, your website, your branding over to the Lord and saying, you lead, and then give me the courage to go do the thing I need to do. Okay. Now I know you guys are here for branding basics, so I'm not going to just like preach at you. If you guys have any questions, if there's anybody in there that has any questions, go ahead and let me know. I think somebody's going to ask a question about the formula, who you are, what you do, why you do it, because there's other formulas out there that are very confusing. One of those is, who are you? What do you do? Meaning, what results do you get people? And how do you do it? Meaning, by helping women X, Y, and Z. I went down that brand formula for a long time. My name is Rebecca. I help women get free by teaching them to trust God more deeply and grow in their biblical confidence and learn to read the word for themselves. That's just an example. But there's a lot of that out there too. Who you are, what you do, meaning what are the results that you get people? My name's Rebecca. I inspire audiences of all sizes to know and love the Lord more. My personal opinion is that's watered down. It's kind of weak and it will change too much. So that's why I use the super clear formula of, I'm Rebecca. I'm a speaker, coach, podcaster. I strengthen women with truth. Okay. That's not going to change very much. Now, strengthen women with truth is what I feel like the Lord gave me. Like when I prayed about it, when I started my ministry, the Lord clearly told me I am to focus on the fact that truth sets us free and that women need truth for strength. Okay. That's me. What is yours? What is yours? Like, this is where you have to be spending time with the Lord and seeking that and asking that on your own. And here's another practical tip. If you don't know what that is, I would say stop taking in information for a couple days or a week until God gives it to you. God, remind me of my first love. Remind me of the gifting and calling you've given me. We all have our own lane. It's all specific and different. And we have to trust the Lord with that. I mean, choosing who you are, what you do, why you do it is a matter of trusting the Lord. Okay. It really is, because we could easily say, well, Marnie's successful. I need to kind of do what Marnie does or how she does it or how she says it. Rebecca seems successful. Maybe I should use her tagline or a tagline very close to hers. That's not trusting the Lord and his calling for you. So getting really clear on who you are, what you do, and why you do it is, like I said, between you and the Lord. And then have the courage to stick with it. Okay. And it really is courage. Don't let yourself be distracted. Don't let yourself be discouraged. Don't let yourself be confused by all the other information out there. Websites that you love, branding basics. I've answered a question about passive income. I've answered a question about the brand formula. Should we just be saying who we are, practically what we do and why we do it? Or should we be taking that route of like, what's the transformation that I sell? Or what's the end result that I sell? I think those are watered down and I think they're confusing and not necessary, to be honest. That's my opinion. Other questions that you guys might ask about branding beautiful websites or branding for beautiful websites. Let me hop back over here to my website. I want to take you guys to my about page really quick. We haven't talked about that much. Some of you might say what needs to be on the about page or how important is that? I think it's very important. So I just have that's a picture of me and a picture of my wedding, which was just recently. And it's a part of my testimony, which I'm going to share with you guys here quickly, short part of my testimony as we do some giveaways. And so I have a bio here, a longer version of a bio, which I do think is incredibly important. And I have a statement of faith. I also think this is incredibly important in this day and age. If you're trying to hide who you are or what you believe, you're not going to get the right audiences. You're not going to get the right, people booking you. This also is a little bit of a leap of faith because when I first started my business, I thought if I get too specific about the fact that I'm a Christian speaker, or I get too specific about my statement of faith, or if I call myself a Christian life coach, then I'm going to narrow down who's going to call me or book me. I thought that by being bold in who I was going to lose potential clients. And I will tell you the opposite has proved to be true for me. The more that I've said, I believe in historical Christianity, the inerrancy of the word of God, the more that I've said, this is who I am. I am a Christian coach. I only work with Christian clients. I've gotten more clients. Okay. I guess that's what a version of niching down. If you guys are used to that term, that's a little bit of a version of doing that. Because in this day and age, to be a full Bible believing, like conservative Christian is pretty niche. But that was hard for me too, because I wanted to do kind of some general motivational speaking and stuff like that. Let me just say, these questions are common. We tend to work it out as we do it and get more experience out there. Don't let fear of not having enough money or enough bookings or enough clients or whatever stop you from doing exactly what God is putting on your heart. Trust the Lord. If we have this fear of missing out or this fear of not having enough, we will get hung up on a really diluted message and a really diluted website. So be brave enough, again, to trust the Lord with exactly what it is that he's called you to do and exactly, who you are, what you do, exactly your statement of faith. You will attract people more when you're not just kind of this general all things to all people, but like a moth to a flame when your message is clear. Okay. And it's usually fear or distraction or confusion that keeps us from having a clear message. We're going to move into a giveaway. I'm super excited to give away two free 30-minute coaching calls with me. 2 free 30-minute coaching calls with me. And we can talk about Christian life. We can do general Christian life coaching, like for your life. Or I'm happy to do kind of business coaching with you guys, how to start a speaking business, how to start a coaching business. I've done that as well. But this is about $100 gift. My hour coaching sessions are $180. My half an hour sessions are $100. So I'm going to give away 2 of these $100 gifts. And I'm very excited to give these away. I'm very excited to see who I get to connect with on the phone and how I can help you. Let me jump away from the screen share here. Okay. So the way that I'm going to give away these two coaching sessions are, first of all, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite Bible verse. And then the first person who types in my favorite Bible verse will get the free coaching session. Okay. The way that by the way, before I do this, I'm going to put my email address in here. Okay. In the comments right now, Rebecca@rebecca-ann.com is my email address. And if I pronounce you the winner, all you have to do is email me and tell me that you won. Okay. And we'll set up your coaching call. So very, very easy. My favorite Bible verse is, for without faith. Now, you're not supposed to type this in. It's going to be the first person who types in the reference. Okay. The reference, which I'm going to give to you at the end. The very first person who types in the reference will get this free coaching call. For without faith, it's impossible to please God. For he that comes to him must believe that he is, and that he's the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Do you guys even know that was a Bible verse? It's not commonly used. But in essence, it's saying, if we want to please God, he just wants us to believe that he is God and that he's good. Like, God is pleased by our faith, not by our actions, not by our service, in our heart. If we believe that God is, and that he rewards those who seek him, so that he's good, that he's real, that he's personal, it's impossible to please God if we don't have that. This is found in Hebrews 11:6. The first person to type in Hebrews 11:6 will get a free coaching session. Hebrews 11:6. For without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he that comes to him must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder who diligently seeks him. Now, I know there's a little bit of a lag on the comments. So as soon as that first comment pops up, I'll tell you guys. And now I'm going to move on to the second giveaway. Janet! Congratulations, Janet. I cannot wait to connect with you. Hebrews 11:6. Janet, please go ahead and email me at rebecca@rebecca-ann.com, and we'll set up your free coaching call. The next one is, I'm going to give you guys the answers to. What I'm going to do is ask you guys, the first person who types in at what age I got married. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a very quick, 2-minute testimonial here of my life. And when you hear what age I got married, the first person to type that in will get a free coaching call as well. So I was born and raised in California. My dad is a Southern Baptist preacher. I am 39 years old. I was raised to believe that I was going to get married young and have kids young. Went to college at Northwestern in Iowa. Did not meet my husband in college. Left college very confused because I thought I was going to get married and have kids. Entered my early 20s, not having a life plan. Went back to grad school at Liberty University. Spent 5 years mentoring girls, hundreds of girls, leading small groups, teaching others how to lead small groups, training them in Christian leadership. Liberty's in Virginia, by the way, getting my master's degree in counseling. And it was also during that time. So I was there from the time I was 25 till I was 30. It was also during that time that I was asked to be the interim director of women's ministry for the whole campus. And when I was doing that, I really felt the Lord put it on my heart to start speaking. I clearly heard him tell me, I want you to speak, because I was mad at him one day. I was 27 years old and I was like, why am I not married? Part of my testimony also is waiting until marriage to have sex. So celibacy is part of my journey. And just all my friends were getting married. I'm 27 years old. I'm in ministry. I'm not sleeping around. I'm doing all the right things. And I just had this major breakdown with the Lord. What do you possibly want from me? Are you even real? Are you even good? That's a whole other story. Season of depression, because I was kind of losing my faith. But then I very clearly felt God say, I want you to speak. I want you to speak the truth in love. And I started a Bible study there called Truth Be Told. I taught that Bible study for about 2 years, and it grew to about 250 college students, girls. And then that's when I got invited to speak at churches for the first time. So the first time a church asked me to do their women's retreat, and then offered to pay me. I was like, what? People pay you for this? I was 27. So I've been doing that now, speaking, teaching professionally for about 10 years, but that's where my speaking ministry started, but still not married. Okay. By the time I was 30, still not married. That's hard in this day and age, especially when you're a Christian woman who like wants to get married and have kids. Continued my professional career when I moved back to California to be near family because I was having nieces and nephews born at this time, so on and so forth. And worked for 5 years in the dean of students office at a large secular university, just kind of being a light in the darkness there. If you can think about how dark a secular university in California might be. Honed my skills with teaching there as well, because I led workshops for all the professional staff and student staff and taught them soft skills. So things like communications and emotional intelligence and things like that, but still speaking at churches on the weekends and on the evenings on the sly. When I was 35, still not married, y'all, I felt the Lord tell me to take a giant leap of faith and quit that job. High paying job with a pension, with health insurance, all the things. Quit that job where I was quickly climbing the ladder to be like the dean of students and start my full-time ministry as a speaker and a life coach. So taking my counseling degree and turning that into coaching. So I started this full-time when I was 35. Still not married. Okay. Quite the journey. When I was 38, I went on a date with a guy who turned out to be the one. Y'all, I got married 6 months ago when I was 30, when I had just turned 39. Okay. There's the answer to your question, by the way. If anybody wants a free coaching session, I got married when I was 39. So the first person to put that in the comments, you'll get that second free gift. I got married 6 months ago. I turned 39 in August. I got married September 2nd. So that's a large part of my testimony, by the way. If any of you love beads, you get a free coaching session. I can't wait to talk to you, whether it's about life coaching or business coaching, business speaking, ministry, whatever, branding. I'm here for you. Make sure you email me. Sorry, Joyce, love beads just beat you out. But make sure that you email me, okay? At my email address, which I'll put in the comments one more time for you before I sign off for good. I can't wait to connect with both of you guys. I'm so glad I'm able to give this free session to you. Anyway, yeah, that's a large part of my testimony, guys. And when I'm speaking, I don't always talk about singleness or dating or celibacy or now marriage or any, but a lot of times I do. And more than that, trusting God when he's not answering prayers. So just a little shout out. If any of you need speakers, if any of you guys need, are looking for someone to come who maybe has my specific story, right? Because my story is a little different than a lot of people's. I would love to hear you guys. Thank you for saying congratulations. That's sweet. And thank you for enjoying my testimony. So I do love the testimony. If I can bless your guys' audiences, women, churches, young, old, I would love to connect with you. And I would love to come share more about my testimony and what God has done in my life and how truth strengthens women, right? That's who I am. That's what God has called me to do. Speak the truth, help women in this day and age be strong because life is hard. Despite all the self-help messages we get, life is not easy. Our default setting as human beings is not easy and happiness. It's hard, but he gives us the strength that we need and the joy that we need and the flourishing that we need. And that's my message, y'all. I'm so glad I got to meet you guys today. And I really do hope that as you check out my website, it can just inspire you to be really clear, that you seek the Lord to get all the clarity that you need about who you are, what you do, why you do it, and then just be brave enough to get out there and start speaking and start making those connections and continuing to build your brand slowly over time, building all the things, your testimonials, opt-ins, all that stuff that's so overwhelming. Like, it's okay. Make sure you love your statement of who you are and what you do. Make sure you love your pictures, and then let the other things that really fill up a website build themselves over time. Okay. You can do it. God is with you. God has called you to do this. He will equip you to do it. And more than anything, are you on your knees every day? Guys, I get so distracted and so exhausted and waste so much time when I'm not starting every single day with prayer, which sounds so cliche, but I just want to throw that out there to you guys today. Are you literally starting every day with, God, this is your day. I am your servant. Are you starting your days like that? Can I get an amen? All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. I want to highly encourage you to go watch the next workshop. I can't wait to tune in and watch a bunch of these workshops as well. Just want to stay connected with you guys. So I'll put my email address in here one more time. I'll revisit these comments and stay in touch with you guys. Okay, everybody. Such a pleasure to meet you. Can't wait to stay in touch. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the summit.
I'm so excited that you got to join us for this session as well as for the Spring Summit. And now I want to encourage you to be sure to get your swag gifts. Not only have today's speakers provided a swag gift for you, but also all of the speakers we've hosted so far in 2022 have each provided a swag gift for you. You can find them all over at bestu2022.com on the homepage there. Also, be sure to check your schedule so you don't miss any of the upcoming sessions, or even if they've gone by, it's still going to be the same link to join on YouTube. You can watch the replay right now. Everything is free, both while it's live as well as afterwards. And we encourage you to invite a friend. There's no reason not to. It's free. It's available going forward. She will be blessed just as you have been blessed. And we encourage you to include everyone you can think of. So just remember, all those initial sessions that didn't happen today but happened earlier are still all available on YouTube for you anytime. Again, we're just so excited that you could join us here for this program. And I pray that you will be blessed and encouraged, and that you will follow up with this speaker and learn more about her ministry, and even invite her to speak at your upcoming events. Welcome. God bless. And I hope to see you in another session.
Bye, guys.